So the main topic of discussion in the presentation is the usage of Apache Hadoop and the data lakes in a larger organization and different enterprises. How we are actually using this. So before going into depth related to the Apache Hadoop, what are actually these data lakes and how these are actually used in a large scale organizations. So data lakes are nothing but like a reservoirs which actually have a large volumes of data that are stored in both raw formats and in simple formats. So these data lakes and their necessity with respect to the enterprises and the larger organization are due to their large volumes of data and also how they are actually providing some advanced analytics and also how these are being used in the large scale organization and how actually our Apache Hadoop is helpful in maintaining these data lakes and facing and also solving the different challenges related to the data at the front end, mainly like processing and also the real-time governance of this data and the scalable data and the distributed data. These are mainly processed or whatever the things that I just discussed about the data lakes was mainly completed or accomplished because of this Apache Hadoop. So this was the complete overview of Apache Hadoop and its components. So the core components and the ecosystem components and the deployment components are what which Apache Hadoop is mainly made up of. But the mainly the data which was input or ingested was actually stored, maintained, and processed because and then distributed mainly because of these core components like MapReduce, which was the point of interest from starting off this the data analytics, and that is nothing but the Hadoop distributed file system and some technological tools such as Apache Pig, Hive, and Hadoop Base were the technological tools that helps us in ingestion of the data, which is nothing but the input of the data, and in the advanced analytics. And when it comes to the deployment architecture, it helps us mainly for the various ways of deployment in the architecture. And these were the technical architectures of this Apache Hadoop, like the data storage, processing, and how these were actually maintained or how these were actually used. Like from the different resources, the data was taken and the data was stored and the data was then distributed. Just like how I used the information or the architectural diagrams from my own understanding and also from the different resources that were available on the internet. So this is the basic understanding of any kind of data lake. I just took a simple example of a data lake uh, view or an architectural view, how it actually looks. So it will have different kinds of servers for processing and management of the data. And for the privacy and security and storage of the data, we have like metadata repositories and also the data warehouses. And when it comes to transforming the data and extracting from our data sets, we actually have different kinds of storage accesses like for future reference and high-level programming tools mainly for the visualization of the data, like I told about the data. So this is how the data ingestion and detail that I actually discussed previously is processed in the Apache Hadoop using different technology tools like Apache Flume for the distribution file systems for collecting and processing the data. For the bulk data, Apache Scoop, and for transforming or designing and managing on a real-time basis, Apache Nifi is used so that in the front end we can actually see the data's presentation. And then when it comes to the management and governance of any kind of data lake, Apache Hadoop always uses different technological tools with a high programming languages, mainly for enabling the enterprises to use their data lakes or use their data without any compliance, like Apache Atlas, Ranger, and Sentry. And when it comes to the benefits of using these data lakes and the Apache Hadoop and the larger organization, which is the main point of view for this particular topic of Apache Hadoop. So this is like it helps mainly for cost effectiveness, real timely basis, and advanced analytics. And when it comes to the advanced analytics, as I discussed about the Apache Hadoop, it is mainly used for the machine learning and data storage and data access, uh, so that there is no compliance with respect to the organizations. So this Hadoop is actually used using the data sets storage based on the queries engines it is having, like the Apache Drill, Mahout, and Spark. The real-time basis is just not only in words, but also you can actually experience in our real-time life experience, like the Netflix that we actually use. You can see the recommendations of whatever you are seeing because of the data sets or the data lakes that were actually processed and analyzed in a more advanced way, because they were actually using Apache Hadoop for the data improvisation, because we are actually using the larger volumes. We are actually the larger consumers providing larger voluminous data to the Netflix. Some other few examples of this um, technology users are Yahoo and the New York Times. And when it comes to the challenges, whatever the tool or the program it is, it always comes with some challenges we have to consider, and the limitations might be not that big or not more for experimentational and innovation, but still always challenges are challenges, like the data security, privacy, and the management. The security is very important, and the privacy is the utmost important for any kind of data, irrespective of the organization or enterprise. So the data, whatever we are taking, or the data lakes, these are very insightful and experimental, as well as very innovative technology that we are actually using, which are actually playing the biggest important role in helping each and every enterprise or the larger organization with large volumes of data for enhancing the operational systems of these particular databases and data sets across the world, providing us with a very good application or a great advanced analytics. Thank you.